Hey, welcome back. We're here at week 5. Sorry for the delay. Greg's a busy guy. So just a few reminders. Rosters are closed, so no additions. Whoever was on your final roster that Jen K posted on our Facebook group, stick to that.
4 games for playoffs. Remember that? Player
Yes.
needs to at least show up and sign in for 4 games. I don't actually think you have to play in a game as long as you're there. Sign in, you're good to go.
Yep, 4 signatures get you into the dance. And then dress warm tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be cold. Still dry. Keeping that streak going. But yeah, it does look pretty cold, so dress warm. All right. So we're going to first go over our week 4 scores. Give a little rundown on that like we always do. Then we're going to go on to our week 5 predictions. And then we're going to do top defenders. Top 3 defenders, male, female. That's going to be at the end, so hang tight. All right, so on field 1 last week, we had Uncrushable versus Lost and Found. This game went into overtime, and Lost and Found with the upset. I'd say probably the upset of the season so far, based on, yeah, I'm going to say that. Upset of the season. Greg can obviously play in that game, so you can give a little more on it, but I was definitely surprised when I saw that score.
Yeah, we are not playing great right now. We were missing Keith and Lauren. No excuses, but arguably our top male and our top female receivers. And Lost and Found added Kevin Fahrenkopf, and he made a huge difference. They had him, and I know I keep doing this. Craig is the twin on his team.
Yes, yep.
So Craig and Kevin playing cornerback are two really good corners, and then we just weren't able to take advantage of it. But I think he really changes their team defensively.
Yeah, no, I'm very familiar with him. He's been on my team in the Saturday league that happened.
Yeah, I mean, he's tall. He's a good player. He's fast enough, so that helps. And, they played pretty well. Donnie threw a quick ball, even though he had Jen K. He didn't sit behind her, and he actually rushed for 2 touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. We just weren't sharp, and they played well.
Well, I appreciate all the insight because we played them this week. We will talk about them more.
There were actually no sacks, no turnovers in this game. It was a pretty clean game, even though it was a low-scoring game.
I did notice
there was some solid defense, but neither team really made a lot of mistakes.
All right. Good win for Lost and Found.
Yes, definitely.
So now every team has a win. That's always a plus.
Does that game have a win?
Yeah, they beat Has-Beens when they did
that's right. Yeah, the overtime game.
Every team has a win. All right, so on field 2, we had Avengers and Iguanas. 59-14. Did you say you had information?
Yeah, I talked to Ryan from Avengers, and I heard some stuff from Iguanas. We thought it was going to be a lot of points, but I thought it would be a lot of points for both teams. Mm-hmm. Ryan said that the Iguanas are a very fast team. He had a lot of good things to say about that Rocky kid, who I still haven't seen. We'll find out this week. But he said he's incredibly fast. He said just defensively, the Iguanas aren't there yet. Yep. And the Iguanas basically said the same thing. They ran into a buzzsaw. Avengers are the hot team. But both teams agreed that basically Iguanas defense just didn't have the organization in this game to allow them to compete. And then that took a little bit of a toll on their offense as well, holding them back.
I did see that Savini had 3 picks thrown this game, so that's obviously not going to help their cause. But yeah, no, Ryan had 7 total touchdowns in this game, so they were definitely clicking on offense. Another big win for Avengers. Yeah. On field 3, it was Onslaught 36 versus Has-Beens 18. I obviously played in this game. It was a good game. It was back and forth for a while. Has-Beens only had 3 guys, so Deering and Jo, obviously 2 great players, and then Rios good on offense. He had to play defense, and he was actually spying me, so that's kind of where they struggled. Frankie had 4 total touchdowns in this game. By far our best game overall as a team. By far Frankie's best game of the season. She was on fire. But the game was definitely closer than the score would say. That did not make any sense. But the game was closer than the score predicted.
Indicated.
Indicated. Good word. So yeah, and that was that. On field 4, we had Bold 34, Endgame 6. I heard from Ant and Berto, and they kind of both played quarterback. Ant had 3 touchdowns, Berto had 2. So I think they're going to kind of stick with that, doing the dual quarterback threat, which I kind of like for them. I'm not surprised that they won, but I am surprised it was 34-6.
Yeah,
I played Endgame the week before, and they had I guess the quarterback that I thought they picked up isn't on our team. But yeah, that was a great win for Bold. They seem to be clicking more and more each week. And like I said in the way back, they're going to be a team in the playoffs that you're not going to want to see. Anything you want to add?
No, I agree. It looks like they're getting hot at the right time. Sometimes like a dual quarterback system can hurt you more than it helps. But based off of this score, it certainly seems like it didn't hurt them. And Endgame has been playing better and better each week. So, I mean,
yes.
This is the big win for Bold.
Agreed. All right. Hold on 1 second. Ryder, zip it. Shh. All right, sorry. Dogs.
Troublemakers in the new studio here.
Yes, if you notice, the new studio. Moving up in line. All right, moving on to week 5. Field 1, we have Uncrushable versus Iguanas. I'm going to talk about this one first. I'm excited for this one. Obviously, they played together last year for the most part, all these players. So it'll be interesting to see how that breaks down. I heard that Uncrushable might be missing a few pieces. I guess you never know who's going to show up for Iguanas either. But I'm gonna go with Iguanas in this one in a close one. I think with them not having to worry about Mosier moving is definitely going to be a big thing they're not going to have to worry about, so their athletes can actually play football. So yeah, I think it's going to be very close, but I'm going to go Iguanas in this one.
I'm never going to pick against my own team. I just can't do it. We are getting hit by the injury bug a little bit right now, and we're playing our worst football right now. So neither of those two things are good. I still think we have the weapons that we'll be able to put up a couple points, and I'm hoping that we've got enough good bodies there to that I can come up with a scheme to slow down Savini a little bit, and hopefully we'll be able to pull this one out, maybe by like an extra point or a female score. But I expect it to be very close. This should be a fun game.
Savini, don't throw interceptions. Okay, there's my cue. All right, field 2, we have Onslaught versus Lost and Found. Like Greg, I'm never going to pick against my own team. I just can't do it. And now with all the great information you told me about Lost and Found, we have the perfect blueprint. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm confident we will win this game. Lost and Found is obviously on a high note. Probably going to be pretty confident, but we're ready for the challenge, and I'm confident in my team.
Yeah, and I'll go with Onslaught as well. Donnie didn't make any mistakes last week, which is something I've been talking about all season. If he can limit that with Jen K at center, that's big. He's got 2 really good weapons at wide receiver now. I think the big difference for them is they can't play the same defensive scheme they played against us, against you, because we've got a quarterback who's not going to move, and you are the most mobile quarterback in the league. So it's going to change. I still think they've got some good pieces, and if Donnie can not make mistakes, maybe keep it close, but it's going to be tough defensively. They're going to have to come up with something new to slow you down, and also Frankie. That matchup's going to be big.
All right. Field 3, we got Avengers versus Endgame. Obviously, Avengers is rolling on all cylinders, playing great right now. I'm going to stick with them. I don't see them losing this game. I'm just hoping that Endgame can get a turnover, like an interception, to knock Ryan to number 2 on the interception list. But no, honestly, Avengers is rolling. They should win this one pretty easily, to be honest. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, Avengers by a couple scores. Endgame had been getting better and better, and then fell off a little bit last week against Bold. Avengers are just playing out of their minds right now, so you've got to go by Avengers by at least a couple scores.
And then on field 4, we have Bold versus Has-Beens. I'm going to say this is game of the week.
Yeah, I think so. I think this would be the game of the week.
So Has-Beens was going to be missing a bunch of players, but breaking news, that tournament was canceled, so now they will be there. So I'm going to say this is game of the week. Oh, man. You're going first on this one. I honestly don't know.
Okay. So, yeah, this is a fun game, especially with Deering and J.O. there, but they haven't been getting a lot of other guys, so that could hurt. And I think Steph's still going to be missing, right? I don't think anything changed on her end.
Forgot about that. Yeah, she has a wedding or something?
Yeah, so, man, it's tough to pick against Deering and J.O., but they haven't been getting a lot of guys. And I think the fact that Steph's not going to be there to organize this team, I'm going to go with Bold, especially based off of how they played last week.
Is Lindsay missing this week?
And no Lindsay. Yeah, that is interesting. Lindsay, I don't think will be there for Bold, which certainly changes things. And they don't have a ton of females on their team either.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to say, because Steph runs that team. J.O. and Deering are super talented, but I don't know that either one has ever run a team or done anything like that.
No.
I'm gonna go with Bold because Steph's not there. Even more in terms of her leadership than her playing. Obviously, she's a great player too. I've been wrong multiple times this season when I've said somebody is really good at running their team. But I'm going to go with Bold because Steph's not there to organize the has-beens.
Okay. Actually, I went with Iguana, so we have a difference. So I'm actually going to go with Bold as well, but I think it's going to be like 56 to 54. Maybe whoever has the ball last or whoever can get the extra girl score. But yeah, I don't see much defense in this game. I think there's going to be lots of points scored, but I'm actually going to go with Bold as well.
I mean, this could be a 5-on-5 game, really, by the time you look at it, in terms of like how many people actually show up, too. Neither team gets a lot of players, and now that we know each team's at least going to be missing a girl, I mean, this could be 4-on-4, honestly. We'll have to see.
Should be interesting. But yeah, okay, so that's it for week 5. So now we're going to get right into our top threes. Like I said, top 3 defenders. We're going to start with the men. The males.
You want to go first? I got to bring it up on my phone anyway and take a peek. So yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, I'll go first. So my honorable mention for top defenders has got to be Andrew. Can you say his last name?
Andy Carucci, I think, right?
Okay, all right. I'm honestly not sure how to say it.
He's been playing with Avengers for a few seasons. Him and Elena, are together. I thought it was Carucci. Maybe not. If not, let us know.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, definitely he's leading the league in interceptions. He intercepted me in my only interception of the season. He's been killing it. So I think he had 3. He's averaging like 2 a game. It's crazy. So I'm going to go with him as my honorable mention. Honestly, he'd be in the top 3 if I just knew how he was playing longer. And then, so my top 3 is, from 3, I have Calvin. And then number 2, Miz from my team. He gets stuck playing the top receiver every week. He's locked it down. I think he's only given up 1 score, and that was last week to J.O., who's a pretty damn good receiver, so I'm not mad at that. And then number 1, I'm going to go with Ant, just because his speed, his lockdown ability. So my list was based on pure like lockdown coverage. So that's what I went off of. And I'm going to put Ant number 1 because, yeah, he deserves to be number 1. Go ahead.
Okay. I always have quite a few people on my list, and I do again. I'll try to make them quick. I have Miz as an honorable mention. I think he's a really good cornerback who makes plays on the ball. Teams kind of avoid him sometimes, which I guess is a great thing. I really haven't seen him play much in co-ed, but I know he's a very good corner. I have Kurt from Iguanas. He's been making, you don't think about him as a huge speed guy or anything, but he makes plays. He's rock solid. I have Ant here. I know he can be a lockdown corner in men's, but he doesn't really do it in co-ed. He plays a lot of safety. He didn't have a huge game against us, which I know you can't just base it off of that. But we all of our games at the same time this year. You don't have a chance to see a lot of the other games.
I agree.
I don't want to sound biased, but I do have a couple guys from my team. I have Q and Richie. Both have played well in terms of flag grabbing and coverage. Craig Helms. Played fantastic last week against us.
Yeah, Jen K said that as well. I haven't seen him play this season. But...
yeah, he played really well. Like I said, we've got some good wide receiver options too, and he played great coverage. And then Kevin Fahrenkopf, I mentioned him earlier. His combination of faster than you think, very tall, and very smart makes him a good defender. So then quickly into my top 3. I've got Andy there as well. Not somebody you generally think about. He's a quiet guy. Yeah, you got all those other elite players on Avengers. But he's making that defense go right now. Rock solid player, making plays on the ball. I have Keith at number 2. Okay. Really good in coverage. Makes great plays on the ball. He might be the only guy who has an interception on Ryan this season.
Yeah, we both have 1, so that's gotta be it.
Yeah, so I mean, just... really good. And then, despite my better instincts, I have you there because I didn't do. I mean, you can cover obviously, even though you don't. But in my eyes, what we're looking at here is the best defender, and the best defender is somebody you avoid, and you make opposing offenses avoid the short middle of the field. Yep. That people challenge Miz and Newhart a little more than you would normally want to because you don't want to throw to you. So I have you at number 1.
Just for the record, I kept myself off of this list just in case you guys didn't realize that. All right, moving on to the females. Since you got your phone already up, you can just keep rolling.
Sure, same thing. I've got Jess Bonfay. I think she's becoming a better and better defender. Not a pure coverage player, but she's definitely gotten better. Yep. I've got Linz and Emily in that next spot. Sort of similar to you to a lesser extent, but if you see either one of them on the side of the field, it seems like teams try to generally run like their quick hitters and their screens the opposite way because they're both tough. They're probably going to blow up your female blocker, and they're both probably going to grab the flag or at least make it difficult for you. So I have them in terms of impact players who you try to avoid. This one might be a little bit of a surprise. Number 3, I have Stacy from your team. again,
AC.
not a, she's not going to cover Elena downfield in coverage, but in terms of that short to middle distance, she can do it, and she's a good flag grabber. She's got really good instincts.
Yep.
She puts herself in a spot to make plays. My number 2 was Steph. I heard she had a little bit of a rough game this past weekend, but she was guarding arguably one of the top 2 girls in the league. But Steph's a good player, great flag grabber.
Yes.
You don't talk about her enough as a flag grabber. My number 1 is Elena. You don't want to keep having the same girls over and over again, but at this point, Elena's the best female player in the league. She can do everything. She can cover you all the way down the field. She'll grab your flag. So that's my female list right there.
All right. I pretty much agree with your list. So I have Jacqueline as my honorable mention. She's pretty new to the league. Actually, this is her first full season. She played in indoor. Obviously,
From Bold, right?
Yeah, was obviously cut short. But yeah, she's on Bold. I think if she sticks with playing flag, she'll be great. And then number 3, I have Lindsay. Honestly, she's lost a step, but she's kind of like how I view you. She's just smart. She understands not to play press jam coverage against girls. She obviously does, other than Elena, she does pretty much the best job on Frankie that I've seen. So yeah, I'm gonna go with her 3. And then 2, I have Steph. She did have not the best week last week, but I've seen Steph lock down great girl receivers, and she can pull flags, and she's a great player. And then number 1, I obviously have Elena. She's definitely the best female in the league, so she deserves to be there. Yeah. That's my list. All right, that's it for today's show. We'll see everyone tomorrow. I'm going to post this right away so you guys can see it. And yeah, remember, dress warm. It's going to be cold. Stay healthy. See you guys. Peace.